So yeah, just wondering if you had a favourite EP64 memory or favourite show.
Oh, EP64. Yeah, my name is Dali de Saint Paul.
Ça va, Dalila? Ouais, ça va. Ça va, ouais, bien sûr, maintenant ça va.
Okay, so it was a dream that I had, but like long time ago, before starting the project, it was just like this kind of weird dream where you wake up and you're like, it's so real. It's really real. Why? What is the story? So it was maybe in 2013 or 2014 that I had this dream, because I remember at this time I was just starting music in Bristol. I was playing in DSC, and so I wake up and I remember I had very vivid memory of someone working at Rise. I was there looking at the records, and the guy at the counter, maybe it was you in my dream, I don't remember, the guy at the counter said, "What are you looking for?" And I said, and I didn't have the time to reply. In my dream, what was the answer of this guy was, if it's your record, if the record of your band, EP64, it's over. We don't have that anymore because you wanted it. So I woke up with this, and that's the story. It stayed with me, and then a few years after, I was in DSC, I wanted to play more, and this EP64 thing was like going on in my head. And so I went to see Dan, and I said, Dan, I'm going to start a band. Would you like to play with me? Principle will be to improvise music and play with people. Voilà.
Laura?
Dali.
Who are you? James.
Dylan.
First floor. Doors opening.
I knew that it would be 64 shows, all improvised, and then that was it. And I was kind of immediately up for it.
Well, you know, Dan is like an athlete, so I had no qualms about Dan making it to the end. I had more qualms about Dali making it.
So at the end of the day, we are like 40-ish people involved. I would say a good 30 people are still living in Bristol. The Queen of Drums, Valentina Magaletti.
Ben, Vince,
Jesse Webb.
Osna.
Rebecca Spadden.
Jackie.
Matt Grigg.
Pick up Max.
Yoshinoshi Shishihara.
Annie Gordon.
Yeah.
Deej.
Sarah.
Sarah, I guess.
Zige. Sarah James.
Oh, I've got one. This is a fun game. Simon Mawson.
Florent Berthaud. Alex Jones. Yeah, Luke. Copper Sounds.
Cohen.
Miguel Prado. Ghosty, Steve Lewis. Wojtek Rosun. Triple Negative.
Bellungs.
Yeah, Bellungs. Nick Janaway. Guest.
Yeah.
Yes. Gutter Snipe also.
So Tom Bugs and Ramon Samsugas.
And Melanie Clifford.
Yeah, check it out.
And Andrew Neal. Yeah.
Matt Davies.
Bah, bien sûr, and Snoozy. Yes, there is a good community that evolved through this project, with this project. But I think because there is a community of artists in Bristol, no? Like experimental musicians, they are going to gigs. Artists are going to gigs. I mean, visual artists, for example, are going to gigs. You know, we are going out in this city. That's why I love it.
I think it's definitely I think it's made the experimental scene more connected.
Ouais.
Like I think it's like I didn't know Dylan before.
Yeah.
Didn't know Laura before.
Really?
Not before EP65. I don't think we'd met. It seems to have connected a lot of smaller scenes to make one bigger.
Yeah.
Like alternative scene.
But
Yeah.
it's a small city, so everyone knows each other. Or
Exact.
if they don't, they can meet each other easily, and they probably will. And yeah, it's just there's a lot of exciting things happening.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And I think
all
that's
the time.
yeah.
And things end, and then new things start. But there's a lot of familiar faces that you see for a long time. I don't know if you would get that in somewhere like London. In the
Yeah.
same way.
But London is really big.
London is big.
And I think this is a good balance in Bristol because you don't have a million people, and actually there is like this kind of small size, big desire to create.
Chips and gravy.
Right, you do it.
It's a Holland great type with chips and gravy.
You do it. You do it, go.
It's a hollowed out loaf of bread with chips and gravy. It's a hollowed out loaf of bread with chips and gravy. It's a hollowed out loaf of bread with chips and gravy.
Yeah.
I didn't see that. Bah oui, we are going to.
You're going to play tonight?
No, it's my project that is over today. Yeah, we started yesterday.
Oh, wow.
So we're closing the project.
Number 1 was the first one.
Oh, me too.
Yeah.
In the toilet.
Yeah.
35?
24.
12
23.
99. Well, I remember the last one. EP 63.
We are improvising the music, and the project sees after 64.
They were the first first band I put on in Bristol, and I met loads of people at that show and ended up sticking around in the city and working full time in eventy things. And yeah, EP64 were the first band I put on in Bristol, and I think they're incredible. And it's so sick to sort of see it kind of come to its completion and see Dali kind of finally get it over and done with. I think she's been ready for a while, but so good. I love them to bits.
I think now in Bristol, compared to 10 years ago, there's quite a lot of artists which have made it on a national or international level.
Yeah.
And that means that you can be an artist in Bristol and have a hope of a future. And I don't know if it's always been like that. So it's an exciting place if you're a young artist.
Yeah.
Have you come across trip hop?
No. Sounds shit though.
From the beginning, I wanted to have people playing with us, because at the beginning I asked Dan to play with me, and I also asked Nick Janaway. At this time we were playing in domestic sound cover together, and at some point Nick decided to stop, And actually it was a great opportunity for me to really bring more people, because he was doing electronics. And it was difficult for me to impose him someone. But then when he left, I was just like, I can go back to my project, which is actually to bring more and more people. That's why it kept fresh, because at some point Dan couldn't play and I had like gig to to do. So I went to other people than Dan and carried on like that from a one to another, and it was just like, oh, and more people wanted to do it, to try, and that's why it was fresh.
Like Dali said, people kept it really fresh. But for me, it was just practice as well, just to not stop like exploring the instrument and just listening to as much music as I could, just different varieties, and just keeping the ideas going, and always like trying to bring something a little bit different.
This is where you see that he is a professional.
Yeah. But even just trying like a different drum kit setup, or like just using 2 drums, or using contact mics, trying different things. Just from a practical point of view, that helps keep it fresh too.
That's really good.
Yes.
I think my favourite one is almost always the most recent one. So right now, my favourite one is what I just saw. Those motherfuckers.
I remember seeing one really early on. I can't remember what it is, which one it was. I feel like it was, I don't know, early days. So maybe in the teens, but I don't know.
I haven't been to all of them. I reckon I've been to like 30 of them.
Wow. I can't remember the number. It was at Fiddler's. That was the night I met Dali, actually. And that night I met Dan. He was mad. Who the hell are these people? She's just the kind of unifying force behind all of them, so she probably could just do one in like her living room.
Yeah.
Like, playing the bongo drum, and it would still count.
My first exposure to it was playing straight after EP64 at Crofters. Yeah. Actually. And I was like, fuck, how am I going to play after this band? Like, it was just like insane performance. So I was like, just wanted to get involved straight after that, basically. Like, it's one of those things where sort of like, it's like an instant connection, you know, like, so I'm not sure how it happened, but there was a reason that it happened for sure.
Wow, it's very difficult to tell. Well, I cannot remember. Probably it was I have no clue. It was before the pandemic, but it's been like 40 something or something like that.
Shit, I'm trying to think. Realistically, no. I've been at least 2 or 3, but in different incarnations. I didn't really know if they were EP64 or not, because there were a couple of early ones, but it's been going for what, 6 years? Shit, it's like 6. So I got on the train probably 18, so I was kind of late.
Oh yeah. Did you play? I certainly did.
What did you play?
I played everything that wasn't nailed to the fucking floor. I was a prick like that. I played everything that wasn't a fucking spoon. So fuck you and fuck you too. Fuck yeah.
Say like where you are and what's happening.
Where you are and what's happening.
Yeah, that's it.
Where you are and what's where.
That's it.
I wanted like from the beginning, I wanted like to have a big celebration, and that's what happened. So that's cool. I didn't know exactly the form, and obviously I didn't know that we will be ending up at the Arnolfini. That was a big surprise, because the first show was in the Victorian cloakroom in toilets, so Laura was there.
Tonight it's a party. It's a birthday party.
Like more connection with people through the sound cupboard, because I was organizing the sound cupboard with Domestic Sound Cupboard. But clearly I met so many people through this monthly night, that it was easier for me to see people play and just go to them and say, hey, do you want to play with me in this project called improvisation? And so, yeah, people were like, yes or no. And the big moment of change was also the Brunswick Club, because for me it was really a very important place where I performed a lot, and Laura, who is here, was involved from the beginning. She founded it, and actually.
I wouldn't say founded.
Oh, yeah.
I was just, there in the cupboards, putting the toilet roll.
Come on.
Letting people in, making cups of tea.
Come on.
It was a collective. Yeah.
Where's the German?
We were invited to perform at the Wardrobe Theatre by Yamawarashi and Evie Losses. And actually, Becca Lewis and Sarah James were working on visuals. And it was the first time that I saw, that EP64 could really benefit from the visuals.
Yeah.
And then after we collaborate together.
I was working a lot, and we were practicing a lot in Brunswick Club, and there was a lot of what's it called? Dazzle stripe imagery, and optical sound was part of it. So that's where the projector makes noises to interfere and add to the improvisation. So the last ever performance was I just grabbed people who I knew in the crowd who had brought audio-visual stuff, and then we all improvised together. So we had Jasmine Burke-Guest made a mirror sort of a device, and then there were 2 projectors, and it was just like a massive mashup of people's different videos. So we had digital, optical, 16mm, sort of weird lens effects, and that's like different artists who've worked within the project, who were just like very gung-ho and like I think I was a bit too overexcited as well. So it was good to have someone else to fill in the gaps.
Being involved in improvisation was something that I started in 2012. So when I started EP64 in 2016, I was used to a certain way of improvising, which was don't talk to me, let's just play, and then we deal with the sound and try to create a sonic conversation more than any plan, because I've been doing practices with DSC for years and like once a week and each time someone was like, oh, let's try this, it never works. So I think the best thing for me is, okay, go on stage, perform, play, open your ears, because you just have to open your ears and try to create a conversation, a dialogue, but based on sound.
Like Dali said, listening is kind of the main thing, but then there's no judgment over what people are contributing or what of my own contribution. It's like we're here, we're responding to what's happening. Other than that, I'm focusing on the energy between the people on stage and the audience and the people on stage. And where is that kind of going? How can, is there a way to like elevate things to like, not like composing, it's more like being sensitive to where the energy is going. It's like kind of flowing through rather than trying to like dictate anything. But other than that, it's basically, listening, no judgment, and just really feeling into what the energy is in the space between everybody.
Does this go on to the... it's the next one. I'm completely lost. It's alright, I'm only just getting used to it.
It's pretty cathartic actually. Kind of felt like I was in my own world, but supported by a team at the same time, and I was a little bit out of it, to be honest. Even though I'm completely sober, it was
I don't speak English, I don't understand, and a little.
34. That is the number I'm sticking with. I've changed my mind, 27.
clearly when I'm improvising, I have, and I'm what is commonly said in the zone, I tend to suspend time, and I feel it. I feel that I'm not feeling time anymore like usually. You know what I mean? I'm in this kind of a very, very intense present that make me feel that I'm not here, but I'm in this kind of relationship, very strange but beautiful when it happened. That communication through sounds.
Do you believe in
God?
No. Do you believe in some kind of magic?
Is it a physical phenomenon, or I don't know if it's magical. I mean, I'm happy at the end. You know what I mean? I mean, it brings you this energy, brings you like
some
something
kind of energy
very,
transfer, right?
very, very positive feeling.
Yeah.
But is that magic?
It feels like a wake slash wedding because there's a nice spread. Spread of food.
The whiskey's rolling.
Yeah. Whiskey's rolling, yeah.
Whiskey roll?
Whiskey.
I can roll. Do you think that 64 is actually maybe the best age to die?
That's going to be a fun bit of the film.
Oh look, here's the lady of the hour.
Wow.
Hello, sorry.
One.
Yeah, that's your favourite one.
That's my favorite number.
17.
6, 7.
Number 47?
47, definitely 47, yeah.
I'd like to guess it was 13, 21, 29, or maybe 37.
I would imagine about number 13, but that's a complete guess.
Yeah, possibly 47.
4.
Halloween.
Halloween?
Yeah.
We'll guess and then we can look it up. 59.
I'm gonna say 33.
Yeah, I think you're lame.
33. Yeah, no.
6, 5, 7, 3, 7, 9.
Which was your favourite show that you did?
No, I don't have a favorite show. Come on, 64 sure. I mean, you've got lots of memory, and also what is good, I was so lucky to play with so many people, so many talented people in Bristol. That's crazy. I mean, this place is the best place to do that. There's so many people you can contact and just say, hey, do you want to play with me? And so these people, they play with you, and it's cool. I've got so many memories. The one we did with Osia, the Strange Brew, so was 59 or 60, I don't remember. But yeah, it was crazy also because Osia, Dan, they go very well together. I did a crazy show. I remember 30. I think it was 31. With that was the first show I did with Silver Waves and JC Webb. And also again, these two, they are really well connected. So when we played together, it was just like so easy. Obviously, I remember the Island very well because the Island show was 57 and we did a tape with it and that was mad. This show was crazy. People were like jumping everywhere. I was just shouting, a bit like tonight.
Was that the first time you met Dali?
I knew Dali before that from other shows, but I didn't know Dali was a singer. And I just from her being like super enthusiastic and like hanging out, and every gig that I saw her at, she'd come up to me at the end and be like, oh my god, wasn't that fucking amazing? And then I'd be like, oh, this person, oh, like fucking sickhead. And then seeing her play and then seeing her with Dan was just mind-blowing, because she had the same level of passion and enthusiasm for playing as she did for other people's music, and that felt super level, super egalitarianly, like just stoked about sound and noise. Like,
but you know that when you're playing with other musicians who you like rate so much that it will be fine, you know, and especially if you've already played together, which, you know, we all had, and you know, so you just have that trust and faith in each other, so you're never really feeling like, oh shit, what am I going to do? Or at least I never had that feeling, because you just knew that it would be good, and you don't even have to play all the time. Do you know what I mean? It's like Dan's amazing at that. Do you know what I mean? Because you know, that if there's something going on, it's like knowing what not to do as well. Do you know what I mean? And allowing space for the other players to sort of carry this bit, and then you can kind of, you know, I don't know if it's like has to be completely free all the time, like you can have kind of parameters and guiding things and stuff, sure. You know, but certainly, yeah, with EP64, yeah, I don't know, it was powerful usually, yeah, pretty well, always really, in my experience.
I'm not scared about me. I'm mostly scared about when I played with Dan, because sometimes I felt like Dan was so intense that he could have like, because yeah, he's so involved in his drumming that I'm just like easy breathing properly. But obviously he's very
still here with us.
At some point, yeah, I had to tell him several times like, calm down.
So I had the schedule for the 2 days, and I paced myself the whole time. So I knew that like I kind of had an idea of how much energy I'd have or need at different points, and I kind of like I was a bit strategic with the gear that I used. So I knew that like this setup would achieve a certain thing with this kind of group, and then this one would like a different energy with that one, and then I knew that like, okay, well, I'm not gonna, like I used the bigger drums for the set with Dylan and Ben and Jesse, because I knew it was gonna need that kind of feel and like have a different, so I could bring a different sound to the drums Jesse had. But then for the very last set, I was like, well, I'm gonna add my second bass drum pedal, so I know I can take it even further.
You will check all my projects, all the projects I'm involved in. I'm going to say it another way, and that's the way I want to say it. The project I'm involved in, read the bio. We never refer to other people. It's not that I'm not listening music. I'm just going to gigs every week. I'm listening plenty of music. My partner is a record collectioner, so I have music around me, but I don't like the idea of doing something thinking I want to sound like other people. I want to sound like myself. I mean, it took me a while in my life to arrive to this clear view that I could sound. So this is what I'm looking for. It's more to try to be myself. The experience of a live performance will not be replaced. As performer, we can feel together this suspension of time. I think the audience has also this kind of very intimate feelings while engaging with art. I'm not interested in reproducing things. I don't want to reproduce things. It happened. It was perfect as it happened. Now move on. Let's do something else. Clearly, I started it, I wanted it to finish. Even if I played myself, like, if with Dan we were like doing duos and we could do like weird places and it's all cool. The project is easy because in Bristol you have so many people who are keen to play and they are talented and they are doing so many things. How do you feel? I'm feeling well. I need to track myself. yeah, there are so many things to do. I mean, it's not because EP64 is over that music is over. It's not the case.
Thank you, Bristol. I missed to say that, like, I need the opportunity to see it.
That's so fucking cool. Actually, I feel really alive. I just left my daytime job. So it's 1 month that I feel very free. And I don't know what's going to be like really tomorrow, but I'm really happy about that. I'm just like, I'm relieved because I'm supported. I'm supported by my partner. I'm not on my own on this journey. And I've got my friends who are like really keen to play music with me and do things. So yeah, I feel alive and lucky, really lucky. I'm feeling grateful. Voilà. That's all.
when I was alone, will you still find the other buttercups? Cause they forever. Oh, many years ago, will you still love me? Will you still need me when I'm 64?